Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another pretty chilly session this morning, hence the big cloak that I've got on. Welcome to another session in the bunker. I am the Ragnarok Ranger. This is the Ragnarok Theory, and I hope you're all doing really well this morning. Okay, time for diligence. That's what we're going to talk about this morning. So I've got a few notes as usual. I've got my black coffee, favourite drink of a survivalist. Oh, that's wick. Yeah. A lot more stuff at Walls arrived, so that's going to probably be going on Sunday because I've got some downtime. Right. First of all, let's look at this country as a country. This country has not been bombed since the Second World War. Okay, so people who were born in this country, live in this country, never leave this country. We can sit on the sofas on a Friday evening, probably have a glass of beer and a pizza, watch people dying on telly and not bat an eyelid. You know what I mean? War is just not real to us. But then when you look at the people who's come to live in this country from other cultures that have come from, it's like when all the Ukrainian families came across from when the war started in Ukraine, they have seen war. And I doubt they sit there smiling, laughing and joking with their mates watching war on TV the way we did, because they've actually experienced it. Right? So it's a very strange feeling at the moment, because there's too many people not seeing the reality of what's going on at the moment. The ongoing war with Iran. My only question is, why now? You know, after 50 years of this not very nice guy running around like ruling a country, why now? And why to this extent? Because he could have stopped it a long time ago, and it's made it worse, really, hasn't it? Because let's be honest, it's like the next person just took over. They're not going to influence who runs another country. They've tried this before, right? And the effect is on normal people. It always is. Always the normal people that suffer in war, not the governments and them that can hide behind an army and security force to protect them, right? And every time someone dies, oh, thank you for their service, oh, we're sorry for your loss. What a crock of rubbish. You know, it's about time that the people in power actually got a grip, because what real information are they putting out there for people in case of something really bad happening? Oil, come on. Oil went up. Oh, so petrol went up. We suffer. Why did it go up? The minute the war started, it all went up, and that's just so the investors and the people who've got investments and are taking money out of oil are getting more out of us while they can. Because it's dropped to $90 a barrel today. So does that mean the prices come back down at pump? Let's wait and see, because they are milking us for every penny that they can get while this war's on, and it's not needed because they've got a massive oil reserve. Yeah? There's at least 3 months, even more, before it would affect us not being able to get oil from Iran. So that's just another smokescreen for them to eke money out of people that can barely afford to live at the moment. It's absolutely ridiculous. Which brings me around a little bit more today, because it's going to be twofold. We're going to talk about what the real threat is to the UK, and then have a look at what we can do to kind of get ourselves ready just in case something bad happens. So let's go straight into this, right? What is the risk of Iran hitting the UK with a bomb? None. Their longest range missile can travel, I think it's 300,000 kilometres or something like that. It cannot hit us. I think from Iran, somewhere like Luxembourg is the furthest we can reach. I could be wrong about that, but you can do this yourself. You can look it all up. My memory fades from when I was reading all about this. But they can't hit the UK. So even if they try to eke right to the edge of their borders to get a little bit further, the thing is, they're popping out like Saddam's army did, popping out and firing missiles and hiding again. They haven't got the time to start sending these missiles to the edge of nowhere to try and get them a bit further, because we'll just obliterate them. That's not going to happen. So the actual direct threat from a bomb from Iran hitting us is just not on. They can't do it, right? Could somebody else join in on their side and do that for them? Possibly. It's very unlikely. They're not going to get allies joining them. They're not. It's simple as that. So we can forget about bombs dropping on the UK at this point in time. We can go to sleep at night, folks, about that. That is not going to happen. However, the terror threat. Now, you're going to see some pop-ups during this. So, first of all, somewhere around me, you're going to see a pop-up of a chart with all the national terror threats on it. And we remain at substantial, which I think third down in the list, isn't it? So, right, that never seems to change. No matter what the government know, right, they never change because they don't want us to panic, you know. So them threat levels are pointless if they're not actually going to utilise them, right? So, just because they've left it as substantial, there is a threat to the UK of terrorism all the time, okay? They've already been, like, catching people from Iran, like trying to wreak terrorist actions on this country, right? So the threat is there. So what can we do about that as people? Well, we can stop walking around asleep and pretending that none of this is really happening. That is the bottom line, yeah? We don't live in a world anymore where you can just walk around on your phone with earphones in and pretend that nothing's happening, yeah? Because one day you're going to become a victim of it, yeah? So, again, I'm going to be putting pop-ups, like this one here. They're saying, you know, about your instinct. I keep saying instinct is everything, and it is. If something doesn't look right, it probably isn't. Report it. Okay, but there's a couple of numbers at the end of here on thing, because I work in the security industry. We do a lot of like online training and stuff to do with terrorism, and it's like this one, the run, hide, tell. What happens? Because a terrorist isn't just a bomber. It could be someone who walks into your place of work with a machine gun and starts mowing you down. Run, hide, tell. Right? I think even as a civilian, you can register with ACT and do the online ACT course. It gives you a bit of awareness as about terrorism and what you can do in the event of something, because this isn't a land for heroes. Right? If you pop out and say, no, stop, you're not doing it, they're not going to stop, this will shoot you dead. Right? So, right, doesn't mean you have to walk around going, oh my God, what's going to happen next? Live your lives, but just be more aware and be a bit more thoughtful. You know, it's a red hot sunny day, right? Why has that guy got a massive coat on with a big hood up and a huge rucksack? Why is he hanging around? Why is he looking at that building? You know, we learned, you know, that the tragedy of the Manchester Arena is that they learned that people have to take action, and it doesn't matter about social or cultural sensitivities. If you have got an issue with someone, you need to report it, because we've seen the result. People get dead if you don't, and, you know, it is possible to prevent these things. It's been proved, okay? So there are things out there that if everybody's doing it, it actually cuts down the possibility of these maniacs actually like getting in here and hurting anybody. That's the best what we can do. And the rest, we have to turn it back to you, the government, and say, man up and do something about this and protect your people, right? You know, don't pretend that nothing's happening, because it is, right? They've already had to ban a march on Saturday, right, which is very rare. They tried to ban a march because it could lead to violence, right? It's very possible these people are going to turn up for a march anyway and it'll lead to violence. You know what I mean? So there's no winning, you know. My answer to that is, if you're not from this country and you turn up for a protest you're banned from, arrest, deportation back to your own country. Get out. If you don't love this country, if you don't want to be here, get out. You know what I mean? Put some effort into this country and you're welcome. That's always been the way, hasn't it? So what can you do for yourself? I'm trying not to drag on too long for you guys. All right. The first thing, that if something does happen, it's like if the oil price crashed, if we've got no oil, if the lights go out, if all these things, there's nothing wrong with being a little bit prepared for yourself initially to bug in, right? So okay, bottled water, tinned food, spare blankets, right? Because sometimes you're better off hanging blankets over windows and doors and living out of one room basically, and only using the bathroom separately. Literally, living in one room is a smaller area. It's easier to keep warm in a disaster. Even candlelight will raise the temperature. Have candles, have batteries, but if everything else goes wrong, candles are a lifesaver. Get them big chunky ones, 4 of them, right, underneath some kind of grill will probably boil you some water. Yeah. So it's just these basic little things. You don't have to have like 10 years worth of food stores. But personally, I look at like 3 months. If you can get by for 3 months, most situations will end by then. So, but initially, at least 2 weeks. Make sure you're sorted out for at least 2 weeks. Give the authorities time to act if something's gone wrong in your area and get things up and running for you. Right, and then get out a dodge bag. How many times do we see that there's been a gas explosion here or there's this here, and everyone just gets onto a coach and taken to an hotel, and they've got nothing. Right, so have a bag prepared. Even the government website now has got this on. You can see it on YouTube itself, saying this we suggest you have this emergency bag ready with this and that and that. It's not bad. It could be better, but if nothing else, it gives you an idea. A lot of works. When I worked down at a shopping centre, we had an emergency crash out bag for any kind of occasion where we had possibly mass casualties and stuff like that. So why wouldn't you do that to protect yourself and your family? Yeah. Have you got baby? Have you got spare nappies that you don't use because you might need them? Have you got spare formula? Have you got spare bottles? Whatever your situation, you need to make your own mind up what them extras are that you need to get by. Right, I'm not going to bang on. This isn't meant to be a sad, oh my god video. This is a reality check. Yeah, but it's just a short video saying, look, start taking a bit more notice and start looking after yourselves and your family first. Okay, we don't prepare to survive. We prepare in case we survive. Instinct is everything, guys. Take care out there, stay safe, and I'll see you next week.